Okay, we're rolling.
Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Ian Edwards, and welcome to the Soccer Comic Rant. But there is no soccer, so who knows what the hell we're going to talk about. I'll just jump right in. This podcast is available on allthingscomedy.com and wherever podcasts are available, Spotify, iTunes, Libsyn, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and you can watch this also on YouTube. And my guest for just a hot minute is the producer of this show, Aaron Brungardt. What up, Aaron?
Hey, guys.
And Martin W. Harris. You've seen him in The Hunt and a bunch of other movies and TV shows. He's also a comic. What's up, Martin from 442 magazine?
Yeah, no soccer. There are rumors about slowly bringing sports back, and the first sport I'm mentioning, the most equipped, and I want to ask Aaron, specifically ask Aaron to stay on for that reason. If you could possibly, as a baseball fan, try to explain why baseball might be the easiest one to come back. They say about that they actually do have distancing on the field. They're not close to each other, right?
Yeah. So that's true. They're the most spread out of all the sports, I would think. Guys are like almost 90 feet apart. The closest would be the pitcher and the catcher, who are 60 foot 6 inches apart. The batter and the catcher, I guess, would be the closest, really. I mean, they've been talking about using robot umpires to do the strike zone anyway. That was kind of on the table. They're using it in some of the minor leagues, or the independent leagues, actually, as a test to see if that could work. And then you still have an umpire there to let the batter know what the call was, but it was based on the robot strike zone. In terms of fans, well, the proposal that I saw, it's been a couple weeks since anyone's even talked about it, at least articles on MLB, but it was that they would do it all out of their spring training facilities. So there's only, even if they allowed fans in, which I don't think they would, they're like 5,000 fan stadiums. What concerns me, but at this point I'm kind of open to it, is that they would realign all the divisions, because there's 4 divisions on each side. 3 divisions. It's East, Central, and West. So they would realign it to go with where the teams are located for spring training. So everyone who's in Arizona would stay in Arizona. Everyone who's in Florida would stay in Florida, and they wouldn't play. If there was a World Series, it would be the only time they'd travel to one another. But you'd basically stay in a division which is like teams in your immediate area that you would maybe have a bus ride to get to one ballpark, but for the most part, you're pretty close.
Oh, damn.
I mean, teams in Arizona are really close to each other. Florida is a different story. They're a little more, you might have a 3-hour bus ride to play a team, but Arizona's a lot closer. So that's interesting. I would be into that if there's no fans. I mean, it still sucks for the workers at the stadiums who aren't getting paid, the concessions people and all that. They do have a lot of funds, and players are putting up funds, and all the teams will allocate funds for that. But I think since we have this time to just sit, it'd be nice to have something to watch.
Right.
But I understand it's still hazardous.
Yeah, it's definitely hazardous. Like, they're talking about the same thing in soccer, like playing in empty stadiums and putting the players in hotels. Yeah. It's like, who's gonna feed the players? Are those people gonna be safe to get in contact with the players, and just anything the players need on a daily basis? The support system around the players, they'd have to have the same amount of protection and distance from other people. And then those people that serve those people have to then just goes back, even if they're all staying in a hotel, the people who work in a hotel, are they going to be sequestered from their family so that they don't get something from their family, give it to the people that work for the players so that the people that work for the players can give it to them? So it's just like, and it just like this ever never-ending line that goes back to like the entire world.
Yeah, and now that I think about it too, like despite being spread out, baseball is such a sport where you are touching your mouth a lot. Like guys are spitting in their gloves to keep the thing in shape, and then you catch the ball and then you throw it back, and now whoever touches that has whatever you've touched, and like
it's going to be the funniest baseball season ever. Where it's like I got it. Like I'm not touching that. It's like it's going to be inside the park, home runs all over the place. You know?
Yeah. Or if they're somehow wearing a really like just a super flexible latex glove on their throwing hand.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's crazy. I don't think, as sad as I would be, I don't think the sport comes back this year. I don't know how they could at this point.
I mean, they do, not in America maybe, but they do come back next month. As a matter of fact, there will be some soccer played, and that's good news. The first Liga will be Bundesliga, the German league, of course, without fans, but they already started practicing. And there was also a layout for English league to restart. That they might soon start practicing under specific rules. They might be allowed to practice. So in Poland, the prime minister already said 2 days ago, May 29th will be the restart of the league. And they will start quarantine on May 5th, all the players, so they can go to training process for 3 weeks. And then they're going to play. And disinfection of the ball and everything. They will make breaks, I think, every 30 minutes for disinfection. I don't know how it's gonna, look. It's gonna be pretty much only for broadcast for TV. So there'll be breaks and stuff. But listen, after 2 months, I'll take anything.
Yeah. So on throw-ins, somebody tosses the player the ball and a can of spray, and they spray the ball, wipe the ball clean, and then toss it in to play. Is that what they're gonna do? Like,
okay, so I'm checking right now. I'll tell you how it looks like. So the league starts May 29.
Mm-hmm.
It will go till July 20th. It will have full. Okay, there'll be 50 people designed from each club. It's players plus coaches plus physios and stuff.
Right.
They will start isolations. They started actually today, 14-day quarantine.
Okay.
They will be tested, and then they will play the games on 29th.
I guess I'm going to be watching bootleg Poland games.
But Bundesliga should start before that. I think Bundesliga will start on 22nd.
All right. I mean, Germany and Poland did well with the virus. They shut it down. Like, what did Germany didn't seem to have like a crazy amount of like deaths?
Yeah, you're correct about that.
Neither did Poland, right?
Neither did Poland, although there's a little bit growing right now because it's getting warmer. People are coming outside, and the discipline is a little bit more loose, which what I'm observing right now in Los Angeles as well.
Right.
And more people are getting more loose. They're like, oh, it's not that bad. It's not that dangerous. Maybe it's overblown, and that could be a mistake. So in Germany, what happened in Germany was they had a lot of people actually getting infected, but they had the lowest ratio of deaths because they were testing very, 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 very soon. They were testing big numbers of people and putting them in quarantine right away. So to kind of separate the ones they have it from the ones they didn't have it. So
right.
That's how they dealt with it. Yeah, by testing a lot.
Yeah, and then Aaron, before you go, just like I was trying to find this article, and it kind of basically said what you said about so how many people a year get the flu? Who die from the flu?
As far as I had seen, it was somewhere around 80,000.
Around 80,000, right? So there's people, and this is just how I feel. There's people, I'm going to try to find it, who are like, it's just like the flu. What's the big deal? They're matching up the numbers. of deaths in America compared to the flu. And I get that. But here's the thing. So, and where is this thing? I typed it in earlier, now it's gone. I just want to make sure. So this is, so let me go back. Hold on, maybe I can use this one. See the screen.
Oh, they're saying 62 is the max deaths.
Right. So
we're already 7 from that. 7,000.
So they're saying the max death from the flu annually is 62,000. So it can be from 24,000 to 62,000. For the coronavirus, we have 50-something thousand deaths, right? 55,000 deaths. So
in the U.S.
In the U.S. And this also is the U.S. So people are like, it's the flu, what's the big deal? The big deal is we almost have the same amount of deaths as the flu while we were being cautious, while we were trying to prevent it, while everybody's home and staying away from each other. Like the flu, nobody makes precautions to not get the flu. Everybody's just mixing with each other and going to work every day, and there's only 62,000 deaths. We have almost that amount of deaths staying away from each other when the whole country shut down. So imagine the amount of deaths when we're just chilling like it's the flu. So that's my point.
And what's even worse is, and most disturbing, what I've heard 2 or 3 days ago, that there's a proof that people who had coronavirus and get healed from coronavirus got it again. So that is very disturbing news, that you're not immune to it once you have it in the future. So you can have it multiple times. And for example, the second time might be worse than first time.
I've had it at least 5 times. I'm by myself, you know what I'm saying? I keep giving it to
you. You're doing good. You're actually, a positive example then.
Yeah, I don't know if I can survive it a 7th time, but yeah, I'm trying. But yeah, for people who feel, all right, you want to stay outside, run around, do this thing, I mean, we'll see what happens in Georgia. Hopefully, I mean, and part of my shit too is I ain't really ready to go back to work. I'm kind of enjoying the quarantine. I don't know how you feel, Aaron.
I mean, I miss working. I miss being in the studio and recording with you guys.
Right. I mean, there's stuff that I miss, but overall, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, I don't miss traffic. I don't miss, there's things I miss, but I'm just dealing with this fine.
I mean, I do miss playing softball really badly.
Yeah.
I play 3 times a week. I love it.
Oh, shit.
And all my friends that I play with,
Right. No, I understand that, because when I used to play soccer, like 3 times a week, that was the highlight of the week.
Yeah.
I miss playing basketball. I was playing basketball at least 4 times a week. I was going to the gym at least 5 times a week. I miss that for sure. I miss going to games. The MLS season just started. I was looking forward to go to games because there are so many interesting players in the league. So that's a bummer. I miss waking up Saturday morning to the Premier League.
Right.
I miss going to NBA games to Staples Center and meeting all the friends I'm meeting for the last 10 years of me going to the Staples Center. So I miss that part, or even going to concerts and comedy shows and that part, I miss. And working as an actor and interacting with people, going to movies, yeah, I do. But as you said it's time to do different things. Hopefully it won't be for much longer. If it's for 1 month longer, I'll be fine with that. If it's still November, I might not be fine with that.
Yeah. And listen, I miss all of that stuff, but I can deal with missing it. But I don't want to miss it if we're not going to fix this thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I'd rather not play softball if it means I'm going to infect a teammate.
Right.
Yeah.
Or they're vice versa.
Or vice versa, yeah.
Yeah. So
because it sounds pretty horrible. Even when you survive it, it sounds real bad.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, unfortunately,
there's one of those cases that just get it and it goes away real easy.
Yeah. But then you can still pass it on, which is terrifying.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's the proof that they suspended all the leagues. Sometimes people are saying, "Oh, why do they suspend the leagues, so soon?" and blah blah blah. But there is a proof that they should have suspended the leagues even earlier, because two particular games, the Champions League games that they played on the day when NBA suspended the league, which were Liverpool against Atletico Madrid and Atalanta against Valencia, both games created huge spread of coronavirus. There were a lot of cases based on the fact that those people went to those games, and in one case the fans were outside of the stadium, but still close to each other, because the math is brutal. If there are 5 sick people in the stadium and they spread it out each to 3 more people, then you have 15 people, and those 15 people will spread it out and make it 50 people, and those 50 people will make it 500 people, and it will go on like that.
Right. Well, Aaron, we're not going to hold you. But go ahead.
I like to tell people, remember the movie Outbreak with Dustin Hoffman?
Right.
Where they're studying this virus and people are getting sick, and they're like, worst case scenario, this thing's airborne. And then halfway through the movie, oh shit, it's airborne.
Right.
We're there. This is what we have. So you got to take it seriously. It's.
Yeah, but I think even some of the diehard people who are like, stay home. I see them on the Instagram now, and I'm like, that's not your home. Where are you? You're out in a poppy field, and even though you're by yourself, I see other people at that same poppy field on their posts, and fine, you got to get out and do something, because there's a line where you have to get out just for sanity reasons.
Yeah.
But I feel like everybody's staying home now. Yeah. And I heard that, everybody's sick of staying home now. So there's going to just be more people out. And we'll see.
Yeah, and who's actually flourishing right now in this DNA of coronavirus, and especially right now when the numbers are not as high as they predicted it. They said, even Trump said it will be 200,000 deaths. Now it's, let's say, 50,000, which is a good news, but for some people it's a bad news, I guess, because
it hasn't stopped.
Because they like to see, oh, it's a hoax, it's this and that. I'll tell you who is flourishing, especially in the last couple of days. The conspiracy theorists are flourishing. There's a lot of that right now. Oh, it's a form of government controlling us, putting more control. It's a form of destroying middle class so the rich can get richer. It's a lot of that right now happening.
I mean, there's a lot of conspiracy theorists out there. I didn't know there were that many creative people in America or just around the world too. These are some very creative conspiracy theorists, and a lot of them doesn't have an end game. Why is this person, or why are they doing this, or why would they do this? I don't see the end game here. Yeah. So what's the when there's a trial, the prosecutor also has to prove the suspect is guilty by evidence and providing a motive. Yeah. Some of these conspiracy theories have no motive. Who's benefit from this? Because everybody who would benefit from this virus is losing money from it.
Exactly. And it goes back to sports, where in sports, you have a lot of rich people, you have a lot of billionaires, you have a lot of even politicians involved, so they don't benefit from there being no sports for months. Nobody is benefiting from that, for sure.
Oil is minus per gallon, per barrel. You know what I mean? Normally the oil companies are behind all the evil in the world. Like, they're not even making money from this. And then there's this one chick. First of all, she had on too much makeup to play this sincere rabble rouser that she was trying to play on Instagram. I can't remember her name, but she's like, I need people to wake up. They're using this to control us. People are being sheep. They're destroying the economy so that Trump will look bad and lose the election. And she did make one point. She said, listen, if they cared about our health, right? She's like, I'm a healthy person. Why are there so many additives in food that the FDA approves and they don't take them out, and those additives cause cancer? So if they don't do anything about those things, why this? So she's like, that proves her point. But my thing is the fact that she's actually proven against her point, because the fact that they don't take the additives out of food that cause cancer, that means they're making money out of that. But the fact that they stop this and not that means this is out of their control. They have nothing to do with it, and they have to shut it down. So she should like look past her point. Like yeah, there's additives in food and they don't do shit about it. But there's a way to make money from that. They're not making any money from this. They have to shut it down because it's not their thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, as much as I miss recording shows and I miss working with Sam Tripoli, that's the one show I'm glad I'm not doing right now is Tinfoil Hat. Because I'd have probably blown a gasket.
But I think even Sam apologized earlier on.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, he's like, it's not a hoax. I mean, for sure, it's a real thing.
Right.
But right now, a lot of people go back to their own to their previous statement. I forgot what comic that was, but I think yesterday one of the comics that we both know, I forgot the name right now. It like also said it's time to reopen America. Like people are getting on board now with this idea that yeah, it's probably not as bad. Maybe we should just write it out. You know, there's a lot of that out there.
Listen, guys, this is how I'm gonna see y'all for the rest of the year. You know what I'm saying? This is it. This is the only way I'm seeing you two without a mask for the rest of 2020. I'm staying inside. And I'm gonna get all my work done, and I'm gonna go out once in a while. You know what I mean? Get some air, do some grocery shopping, and everybody's got to do this the way they can. You know, it works for them. But I'm not sure about what's going on outside, so I'm gonna chill.
Yeah, there are still things happening in sport. You know, that Newcastle has Mike Ashley sold Newcastle. Big news.
Is it a done deal?
Yeah.
So this consortium, or this oil consortium, owns it
from Saudi Arabia. Yeah.
Saudi Arabia. So that's a done deal.
Yep.
All right. Finally.
They want to build a Champions League contender there. They want to build a big club.
It's messed up because Benitez should have stayed. He left Newcastle because of Ashley, and probably these new owners he's the type of manager they would probably hire. I don't think, was it Bruce?
Yeah, Bruce.
Steve Bruce?
Yeah, Steve Bruce.
Yeah, they're not gonna keep him.
They said they're gonna keep him for now, but it sounds almost like, I remember, because I was in the middle of this, when Roman Abramovich bought Chelsea, and everybody was saying that he'll fire Claudio Ranieri and bring someone, you know, from a hot manager, like a big name. And at the time, Jose Mourinho was the biggest name because after winning Champions League with Porto, so everybody was saying, no matter what Ranieri does till the end of the season, they'll fire him.
Right.
And they were saying no, he'll stay, and they fired him. They let him work for 1 year. I think they went to the finals of the Champions League.
They went to the semifinals of the Champions League, and I think they came second in the league. They had the chance to win both. Yeah. Maybe if he'd won both, they would have kept him. It's tough to fire a manager that just won the league, but he got close and didn't finish it, so then he got fired.
Yeah, and I went to the game at Highbury It was the quarterfinal.
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal team was by far the best team in the league back then, and they beat Arsenal in the quarterfinals at their own stadium. It was a huge win, and still it didn't save Ranieri's job.
Oh, shit. I've been watching a lot of old football documentaries, and I just watched that Brian Clough 78-79 Nottingham Forrest team. I don't know if you, like, they were in, first he just got fired from Leeds, and Nottingham Forest hires him from the league below what is now the Premiership. So he's in the second division. And then they hired him, and he was there for a few months. And then he had a partner that he coached with at another team. And that partner was coaching another team, left and came and joined him. And they co-coached the team. So they go to the Premiership. They win the Premiership, and they win what is now the Champions League.
Yeah.
The second year, they win the Champions League, what is now the Champions League again. Because people's like, oh, it's just you couldn't. And then the second time they won the Champions League, so this is what happened. Like, there's a month before the game. So Brian Clough has this philosophy that players need to relax to be at their best. So he gives them a month off before the Champions League final. No training. And then Peter Shilton was like a few days before the game, they get to, I forgot where the game was being played, but he's like, I haven't practiced in like a month. And he's like, I got to find somewhere to like practice. And then somebody called one of the other players, right? Like on the way to the game, or they were in town, like a fan of Nottingham Forest was in that country for the game, right? And he calls the other player and he says, hey, I think I just seen Peter Shilton diving for balls on a grassy street divider. And the player was like, yeah, that's probably him. So Peter Shilton, you know those islands that run in the middle of those streets that have grass in it, was practicing for the final, like on one of those. And then they go to the final, and Nottingham Forest goes up 1, and they go up 1, and then they just hold on until the end of the match. Like, I think Peter Shilton made 1,000 saves. And they held on, and they won it again. And it's just like, it's so crazy.
Yeah. Another documentary, it's kind of brings the memory from last night when I was watching the episode 3 and 4 of The Last Dance, the Chicago Bulls documentary that everybody's watching right now. It's the hottest thing because there's no basketball, and everybody's watching that, including the NBA players. First of all, because it's so well done, and second of all, it's, you know, it was the greatest team of all time at the kind of end of the run. Yesterday after watching that, the fourth part, and there was episode on Dennis Rodman when he got 48 hours of vacation from Phil Jackson, just to, in the middle of the season, just to kind of get his groove back. And he went for a week to Vegas, and there were, you know, videos from him partying, taking tequila shots. And then after 6 days, he didn't show up. Michael Jordan had to go bring him back. And that there was a funny story that he enters the hotel room, and Carmen Electra was telling the story that she hid behind the bed curtain.
Oh, when Jordan came in?
When Jordan came in.
Hilarious.
Yeah. And Jordan brought Rodman back, and then Rodman was a key guy on their run, which brings Phil Jackson and a lot of other, I mean, not a lot, but some of those great coaches that I think a good skill to have, good quality to have, is to kind of be individual with different players and sort of not have one rule for the whole team. It's like, hey, guys, we're doing this and this and this and this and this, but kind of understand that everybody's different, especially with such a complicated character like Dennis Rodman, and there are characters like that in soccer as well. That sometimes you have to give them a little bit of room for, a little bit different treatment, because you know that you will get the best out of them when you do that. So I think some managers have it. And going back to Mourinho, and I think part of his recent downfall is that he is a tactical genius, but his man management skills, he likes to imply his authority.
On everyone, yeah. It's a blanket authority. And, the thing that Phil Jackson does is pretty risky, because if you let one person do one thing, then the other players are going to be like, hey, how come I can't do that? And so it's a risky thing to do. But then if you have Jordan going, backing the coach up, and he's the greatest player in the world, that also helps you. But it's a risky thing to do, because you could lose the rest of the team. But, it helps when you have like the greatest player, one of the greatest players that ever lived, like kind of backing you up. But it is some ballsy ass man management. I remember, I don't know how much American football you follow, but I was a big fan of the New York Giants, and Lawrence Taylor was a legendary linebacker, and the coach, Phil Parcells, was like talking shit to Lawrence Taylor to motivate him, to like, the way he would motivate all the other players. And I heard that Lawrence Taylor went to him and said, hey man, you don't have to say that shit to me. All I want to do is play. So you don't have to say the shit you say to me to motivate me, because I'm beyond that already. So I guess Phil Parcells got it and didn't have to like wind him up or put him down so that he could prove Bill Parcells wrong. Like, some players don't need it. Jordan didn't need that. I heard Jordan in one of the, I didn't watch the latest 2 episodes. I'm gonna watch those. But Jordan was talking shit to himself. He's talking shit to the player to say, I'm gonna drop 50 on you, but not to shit talk the player, but to shit talk himself. Like, now I gotta drop 50 on him because I told him I was gonna drop 50 on him.
Yeah. And it's interesting. You mentioned football. That was the only thing going on last week, and they did like 3 nights broadcast of the NFL draft. Kind of funny, and the commissioner was the host.
Yeah.
And there were people saying, why they didn't hire someone like Jimmy Kimmel to do that? Because everybody was watching it. And the funny thing is, because Gronkowski was traded out of retirement to Tampa Bay to join Tom Brady. They filmed a couple of videos of practicing together, which is kind of strange, because we have the social distancing. But what's even more strange, I think on the first or second day of being in Tampa Bay, Tom Brady, he bought a house that he didn't see before buying, and he went to a wrong house.
Yeah.
And someone came to his own house and saw Tom Brady in the kitchen. So that could be interesting.
I know, it's funny, like, there were different versions of the draft. There was one on the NFL Network, and my friend was telling me about it, and it was like a very fun group, and they were like cursing, and they were saying whatever, and it's like Deion Sanders, and one of the guys said to Tom Brady, hey, Tom, are you in the right house during this broadcast? And Tom was like, doesn't matter, they got Wi-Fi, so I'm staying. And it's like, so they made jokes about that. That's how I know about that.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, football, listen, we're worried about soccer. I don't see how football could come back. I mean, that's one sport that I don't see coming back anytime soon at all.
Yeah, that's a full-on contact sport.
Full-on contact sport. A lot of players on very, very limited space. A lot of hugging, a lot of shoving, a lot of this and that. Yeah. I mean, plus even logistics of it. You need 200-300 people in one place. I mean, there's no way around it.
Yeah. Can they play NFL flag football? You ever heard of flag football?
Yeah, but it's not an NFL.
I know. Nobody would get concussions. They wouldn't have to worry about that. And what if it's like NFL touch football, where now you have extra incentive to not get touched because that person might have the virus. So if you thought you were good at juking people and losing people, then you're even better when you don't know if the other player on that team has been tested. So you're like, fuck this. I'm out of here. Touchdown.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think football will come anytime soon. I believe it will be baseball first and golf. Probably golf. You can get some golf tournaments going.
Yeah, maybe some golf.
Yeah.
How do you think they play golf? Like just one person?
Yeah.
Does the person have a caddy?
No caddy. I think you have to do it on your own, I guess.
Yeah.
Or maybe one caddy.
Maybe a caddy with like same thing, Lysol wipes down the club, hands it to him, has on gloves, constantly disinfecting.
Probably without caddy again. I don't think that would slow down the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what's the handicap of someone with a mask on as they stroke the ball, if that changes somebody's handicap. You got to think of everything, Martin.
Yeah, I think auto racing, although you have to exchange tires, probably not. But like motorcycle racing, no?
Does motorcycle racing have a pit crew? Like auto racing is difficult because there's a pit crew. Everybody's confined in a small area. I don't remember, and there's different types of motorcycle racing, like if there's a pit crew situation.
I think either it already happened last weekend or next weekend. They did some of this Olympic cycling, where it's just you. And I think people were connecting from different buildings, and it's on time that, like the indoor cycling that you do circles, you go circles for like an hour or like 30 minutes or something. And then you compare times. Usually it was in the same building, but I think they want to do it in different buildings and just broadcast it.
I don't know. I mean, those kind of sports were kind of boring to me anyway. Now you're taking away the only reason why I would watch some of those sports, because people would crash, and then the possibility of a crash is down to zero. Yeah. So for me, a bike racing watching person, now you're taking away all the crashes. Right.
Okay, so let me ask you this: if the situation will not improve with sports, and there's no sports for foreseeable future, at what point, how many months, years, it will take you to tuck yourself into indoor cycling?
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, I'm not a closed person, so I'll just say, listen, I won't say never. We'll just see what happens. They might be. When I was a kid, we was in school, we used to play money football. We used to use lollipop sticks and play football with money. Like a quarter would be your player, the other person would have a quarter, and like a penny would be the ball, and we'd like angle it and take shots, almost like a pool like a pool top version of like playing soccer. Who knows? Something might come out of this that's real crazy and develop into this big fad or thing or something that you can make money out of. Like just watching people play video game soccer. It's big now. There's lots of money in it. It might even get even bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, it's really becoming a thing.
Yeah.
Big money are being made on those, and especially now, and on FIFA, I know that they're playing competition right now in Europe with actual players. Poland played Finland and Poland played Ukraine, where 2 players of each team. Wow. In Poland, I think when they played Ukraine, the guy from Man City, Zinchenko, was on the Ukrainian team, and he played the guy from Leeds United.
Mm-hmm.
And they just play each other on FIFA,
How do you watch those games? Are they on YouTube or?
On YouTube Live, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So the Polish Federation, they have a channel, so they do a lot of those. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad they provided something for people to gamble on. That's good.
Yeah, the people are gambling. The gambling industry, they're getting desperate. Like, for example, a friend of mine, a couple of different friends of mine, they started a YouTube channel in Poland. They're all very established journalists, so they created it as a business, because they're very recognizable. And so they have this YouTube channel where they have original content on it.
Mm-hmm.
And because they are sponsored by one of the betting companies,
mm-hmm.
for example, they're betting on if in the first 2 minutes of a live show on YouTube, there will be under 1,000 live viewers.
You got to be a degenerate or really bored.
So that's what's happening right now with no sports.
You got to be a degenerate or just really bored to bet on that.
But guess what they realized after a couple of days? That people are pumping. If they see it's below, they try to pump fake accounts to get it over, so they make money on it. People are creative. People are getting creative.
Apparently, I wish they'd be that creative with the vaccine.
Yeah.
Yeah. If these people with all these great minds and conspiracy theories, could you help out with the vaccine, or just help out? Period. In some way, use your creativity to help us.
Yeah, talking about vaccine though, if you can get it back, unlike the regular flu, when you build an antibodies, if you can get it back, then vaccine will not solve all the problems.
Yeah, I mean, they said that some people who got it back, it never really went away. It's just that when you test people, if they have below a certain amount in their body, right, then it won't show up on a test. So it feels like they're completely cured. But then either way, it's bad if it can go down and then come back. You know what I mean? It's like, either way, it ain't good. So, I don't know. We'll see, man. I ain't going to try to keep everybody. This is what we got for this week. Hopefully next week we'll have some LAFC players on. He told me to hit up Seth. Yeah. So I text him. So maybe next week we'll have some professional players from the LAFC on. And earlier, me and you were talking about Chicharito.
Yeah.
For the Galaxy.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think his grandmother died yesterday, so they put up a statement about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, something like that happened. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh damn. So sending love to Chicharito and anybody that's like got people who are sick, died from this, or just having trouble, like because of this. Like, I say whether you have it physically or not, everybody has it because people can't work, people can't go out, people's bank accounts are hit, people's kids can't go to school. So in one way or another, we all have COVID, you know what I mean? But some people just have the real version of it harder. So, hey man.
Actually, yeah, it was grandfather, sorry for interrupting. It was his grandfather, Thomas Balcazar, who was a member of 1954 World Cup team in Switzerland. He died at the age of 89. Yeah, it was his beloved grandfather, the one who kind of got him to love soccer in the first place. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that's why he's more popular than the LAFC. What's his name? Vela. More popular than Vela because his grandfather used to play for Mexico.
Yeah. I was asking my friend Katie, who works for ESPN Deportes. She's like the main reporter on soccer, and I asked her why Chicharito is so popular in Mexico. She said there were a couple of things that worked together in that case. First of all, he played for a very popular team. I think it was Chivas Guadalajara. I have to check that out, but I think that was the team. And became very popular locally in the local league, being this like number one star of the league for a short period of time. Then because of the teams he played for that are extremely popular. Man U, Real Madrid.
Right. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, he did play for the big ones.
So that's 2. 3, his personality. He's very outspoken. He's very talkative. They love to have him on talk shows and stuff, and people love him. People just love him.
Yeah, I think he's a crybaby on the pitch. So I don't really like subscribe to that type of pitch personality. You know what I mean? Like I like the person who's just going hard all day, busting their ass. And I'm not saying Chicharito don't work hard on the field, but I feel like he's one of those players. Like, hey man, could you put a little bit more into this and stop diving? Like I love Ronaldo, but to me Ronaldo dives too much, and he's as productive as anyone in the world. You know, maybe that's why I like Messi more, because he doesn't try to milk a collision. He'll try to stay up on his feet as long as possible, get around the person. I feel like Chicharito will like try to get a call, as opposed to try to get a goal.
Yeah, talking about Messi, I've heard this quote yesterday that was funny. I disagree with that quote, but I think it's a very good quote from Jorge Valdano, who was a member of Argentina 1986 World Cup. When he was asked to compare Maradona to Messi, he said this: "Did you all watch Maradona at World Cup 1986? Yes. Well, that's Messi for the last 15 years.
What does he mean? Just watching it?
No, he means that Messi is like that for 15 years. Maradona was in one tournament. That's what we tried to say, you know. His former teammate. But, you know, I don't agree with it, but that's what he said.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah. Anything you want to plug?
Yeah, before I plug, you mentioned Cristiano Ronaldo. I just want to say, whoever doubts Cristiano Ronaldo's commitment, just go to his, I think, Instagram page when he's posting his workouts recently. I think there's like a 1 minute stomach muscle workout that is just impossible to do for a normal human being.
Why? What is he doing?
He's doing it in such incredible pace that is just, you know, I would burn after 5 seconds. You know, I wouldn't be able to.
And this is on his Instagram page. Let me pull it up.
Yeah, let me see. I need to find it.
Let me see. Let me go to Instagram. Take your sweet time, internet. It's only a show. Do I have to type the whole thing in? You should just pop up. I went to the other Ronaldo.
You went to the other Ronaldo.
Right.
Yeah, look. It's a paid partnership with Nike.
Well, which one?
Go down.
This one?
That one here.
All right, let me see.
No, not this one.
No, not that one.
Not that one. Down and to the left.
This one?
Yep. Look at this one. I think it's this one, yeah.
Now, let's see.
Ladies and gentlemen, week 1 of the Nike Living Room Cup is done. Cristiano set the benchmark. 142 reps in 45 seconds. And
That one?
you guys crushed it. Thousands competed.
I think that's the one that is not just him. It's people doing his...
Non-pros. Even kids.
Is it this one?
Perspiration, imagination.
No, the one below. Sorry, my bad. That was the one where people are trying to do what he did. It's... Go up. Up. No, the other way. The other way. Go up. I think it's this one here on the left. Him standing. I think that's the one. Yeah,
Take your sweet time in that. It's on their show.
Hi guys, this is first edition of Nike Living Room Cup.
Just a pause. He's got production on his.
45 seconds.
Oh, that's it, man.
Yeah, that's it.
I would say it looks like he's cheating, but I've seen the results of his stomach. So, like,
I trust him on that.
I trust him on that, yeah. Because, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
God damn. This motherfucker. It's a human masterpiece.
Yeah. Staying in shape.
Yeah.
I'm sure there will be a lot of players. They'll be overweight if they come back. Let's say 3 months. There'll be a bunch of players that'll be very, very overweight. But not this guy.
No, not this guy. This motherfucker's driven.
Yeah.
This motherfucker's driven, bro.
Yes,
Especially now that Messi has an extra Ballon d'Or, right? Messi has an extra one. He has 6, right?
That's a good question.
I thought Messi just won the last one.
Wasn't Cristiano Ronaldo ahead by 1?
Nah. Cristiano was never ahead by 1. He was always trailing, then he tied it.
Okay, then yeah, then if so, the Messi's one ahead, yeah.
Yeah. So he's doing his abs just to catch up. It's a great race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that he's making $1 million per every post on Instagram, though. So
it's the same amount I'm making. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get my abs together. Maybe I could make something like that. Jesus.
Yeah.
This guy trips over money on his way to money.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah, I gotta get my shit together. All right. What you want to plug anything?
Yeah, so that was a little bit of motivation for everyone at home. You know, you can try the Cristiano Ronaldo challenge, as you see people are trying, you know, and failing miserably, but you can try if you want. I'll give it a try. I don't think I'll do more than 10 seconds, but I'll give it a try. Why not?
I can do 10 in 45 seconds. What? It's a lot, bro.
It's a lot. No, listen, it's better than sitting on a couch for 2 months for sure.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny talk about plugging in. I have a very legitimate project that I got cast in, and they want to shoot it in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, by sending a camera to a location and me going to that location, and there'll be just one person filming. I don't know how it's gonna work. They said it's gonna be safe. We'll see, you know, if it's happening or not.
It's a TV show or film?
Film.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Very legit director. Very, very, very accomplished director. So let's see what happens.
Find out. See, it's worth a. Do you shoot with a mask on? I mean, no.
No, but there'll be nobody around. So.
All right. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
You know they're doing. You know they're sending. Some companies are making commercials.
Yeah, I see them, and they're acting like people are self-isolating, and they show like the shot of the person by themselves through the computer, but then they cut to a cut of the person in their house, and it's like, how did they get that camera, professional commercial grade camera shot of this person in their house? So it's like, how is that happening?
Oh, I'll tell you how, because I've heard from one person who was involved in it. They send equipment to their houses, and they have to install the equipment themselves, film themselves, and send it back.
So you get paid as an actor and a camera guy?
Yeah.
And a lighting guy?
I guess.
It's like, I want to book one of those commercials. I definitely want to book one of those commercials. Yeah.
And Conan, because actually one actor from my agency booked that. Conan is doing like sketches where actors are filming themselves at home. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, all right, now we like you for the acting, but let's see what your camera skills are like. Like, shoot this and send it back to us, and we'll let you know if you got this role or not.
Yeah.
You got to be more, yeah. Let's see what your editing skills are like. Let's see your craft services for yourself. Let's see you feed yourself during your own shoot.
Yeah.
Dang. Well, good luck, Martin. Congrats on booking the role.
Thank you. I mean,
for me, I'm just here drinking water. You know, tell some people about the podcast. If you watch it on YouTube, press the subscribe button, press the like button if you like the episode. People have responded to the post, like I've responded to the posts, the comments under the post. I do that every week, and I'll try to even get to those responses sooner. So comment, and you know, hey man, everybody be safe. We love you. Be good. Thank you, Aaron Brungardt, for, you know, putting this together and being around. And go to allthingscomedy.com. Check out their other podcasts there. And yeah, see you next week.